So first of all, thank you all for coming here today. I think I know everybody in the room, but for those of you that don't know me, I'm April Weaver, and I represent you in the Alabama State Senate. And today we are here to celebrate the Bibb County Sheriff's Department. So much exciting stuff is going on here, and today we're here to talk about NCFI and the great stuff that Investigator Poole has done, but I know that there are many in the Sheriff's Department who have also done a lot of training and a lot of great things, specifically some things that probably the Bibb voice needs to know about. So are there any others in the room that have gone through training recently for a certain course that might want to tell us a little bit about what they've done before we get started with NCFI?
Oh, well, certainly. Well, all the guys have had a whole lot of training, and being in a smaller department, everybody's going to have to wear a lot of different hats. So we have guys that are trained in several different things. Where in a larger department, you're going to have one person that specifies in one area. But our guys, like I say, they have to wear a lot of different hats. And, you know, we have Mr. Charles Ball, and Tommy, good friend. He just graduated the academy not too long ago, president of his class. We're very proud of him doing a good job. Charles has been here for a very long time, and like I say, they wear a lot of different hats, and they're responsible for a lot of different things. But we really, really appreciate you setting up and organizing this training that a lot of people don't have access to, and I think as you talk about it, they're going to realize this is something that's nationwide. People from California, Texas, Arizona, with some of the signs I saw on the desk. So we appreciate you and your work and getting us into this class, and it's a lot of valuable information we have and a whole lot of valuable equipment that we were afforded that cost us nothing, and we thank you very much.
My pleasure.
And we appreciate Investigator Poole for completing the course, doing a terrific job, high grades, and he just got in there and ran right through it and did a really good job. We're very proud of Chris.
So we have another guest I want to introduce to everyone. Representative-elect Curtis Travis, House District 72, just won his election this past week, and so welcome, Representative-elect Travis. Glad to have you on my team.
Well, thank you. Glad to be working with you and looking to work with the citizens and people here in Bibb County.
Very good. Happy to have you. Thanks for being here today. So to tell you a little bit about NCFI, how many of you know what NCFI is, or how many of you had ever even heard of that before Investigator Poole got engaged with it? Yeah. Me either. Not when I first learned about it, I was really, really shocked that we had something of this caliber in the state. So it's not new. It started actually in 2007, and it is a partnership between the Department of Homeland Security, the United States Secret Service, the state of Alabama, the DA's Association, and actually Shelby County, because it's located in the Hoover Training Center. I had known about it for a while because a friend of mine had been the director that I had gone through Leadership Shelby with, but I was engaged when I was in the House to go to Washington to help lobby to keep NCFI here in Alabama. It was at a point where they were considering moving it to Colorado, and I went with a group to lobby to keep it here in Alabama, and we were successful. So I was away for a year, federal service, came back, and there had been a change in directors for NCFI, and Bo Brown, who I had worked with the DA's Association, is now the director of NCFI. So when I started talking to him about all the great things that this program offers, I said, how can I make sure that we bring this back to my district? So after he was telling me all the great things that happened, you know, it's not my skill set to do what you guys do every day, but I reached out to the sheriff and said, I really want you to come look at this. I think it's fabulous. I think it will take us to a different level, but I need your expertise in figuring out how this fits into what you're doing. So Sheriff Wade and I talked about it. We talked about NCFI, and at that point he engaged Investigator Poole, and the three of us went to the Hoover campus to have a meeting with the Secret Service and with the director of NCFI. And as we sat around the table and we saw that presentation, the three of us, none of us said a word, but you could see us looking at each other like, oh wow, this is fabulous. Can you believe this potentially would be an opportunity for our county? So when we walked out, it got even better, because in the hallway they had all this equipment, this very expensive equipment that goes along with the person who has been trained in this program, free to the department if they're trained. So NCFI has a very long waiting list of training, and they don't train people locally by virtue. They train people nationally. They train people internationally. They have a waiting list that is really, really long. But the way that we were able to do this is sometimes they have a list, and if somebody cancels at the last minute, they will reach out to someone locally to say, can you come quickly and fill this slot? And if you can fill this slot, we will train you and we will send this equipment back home with you to your department for you to work within your community with it. So I looked at the sheriff and said, okay, if we can get him a slot, can you get him in? And he said, absolutely. If we find a slot, I'm fully committed to making sure he comes. So within how many days?
It was a very short period of time, because I think Chris had already had his bag packed. He was ready to go.
Right. So, so they call, and I get the text, I'm on my way. Well, I'm so excited because I think that he has gotten a seat at the 1 week course with the little box of equipment. And then we find out he has gotten a seat in the 4 week course with a lot of equipment, which was so exciting to all of us. And, he has studied so hard. He has really represented us well. You were the only person from the state of Alabama in this class, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
I actually went there with Judge Cargile, and he was already gone for the week when I toured. But, as we looked at computers, it was Texas, California, New York, Centerville, Alabama, and on and on. You really made us proud by being there, and you really did a really good job. And I want to thank you for your hard work and your dedication, and for being such a great example for this community and all that you've done through this program. It gets even better. So we are about to have almost the perfect trifecta, I guess, of people trained in cyber fraud forensics, because Prosecutor Jones has been trained. Now we have Investigator Poole trained. Judge Cargile will be trained in the fall. So you will have all these people in the courtroom who now speak the same language, who have been trained on cyber forensics. So what this means for us is, in the past, when you had something related to cyber forensics, you either had to send it to a regional office, you had to get in line for a long time, you may or may not have priority. Now, this is not just something that is an asset to the county, it's an asset to your cities, it's an asset to your neighboring departments, because you have the equipment here, you have someone trained, and it's not just a win for Chris, it's a win for every one of you, because now you have that expertise here that you can use in your cases without having to go through all of the hoops of getting someone to help you analyze what you need. The other great thing I think that we talked about when we were there is, not only is it just having the expertise here, you now have the relationship with the Secret Service 30 miles away, that if you need assistance, all you have to do is pick up the phone and call. You have the relationships because you've been through the course. They can help you walk through any of the stuff that you need. For us as a county, I think it's fabulous. One of the things that we talked about is there are so many crimes against children that involve cyber issues. We want to tell people who are committing crimes against children, Bibb County is not a place for you. So I think that we have made a fabulous first step. People who are committing cyber fraud against senior citizens, we want them to know that Bibb County is not the place for you. So, Investigator Poole, I want to thank you for the great work that you've done on behalf of the Sheriff's Department, on behalf of our community, and I congratulate you for being a shining star in your class and making us proud.
I appreciate you for everything as well. I also appreciate the sheriff, everybody who's had a hand in it, chief, for getting my schedules filled. Greatly appreciated all of our guys. Also appreciate my dispatchers who, when I had a case, they would text me and let me know about it so I could follow up on it during lunch break. So it was an excellent class. I learned a lot of valuable tools that's going to help this community.
Sheriff, did I miss anything? Do you have anything that you want to add about the program or what it's going to bring to the department?
No, we're just really, really excited about it. Like you said, we're going to have access to these things in-house instead of having to send them to somewhere in Montgomery or even further away and then wait months to years from your place in line to receive that to begin the process of prosecution. So it's going to be better for the citizens naturally, because their issues are going to be addressed more quickly and get a resolution to the case and get everything through the system much more smoothly. So we'll be able to have people that can rely on us to assist them instead of us having to rely on outside agencies. And once again, I appreciate your hard work in getting this in place for us and allowing Chris to go, and especially all the equipment that we're getting in. I had no idea. I figured it'd be a couple of years before we could get in from the way they were talking. So within days, we had a man headed that way, and we can't thank you enough.
Well, I can't thank you enough for helping get him there once they called. I just think it's fabulous for this community. And to each of you, deputies, chief, thank you for the ladies behind the radio, everyone who's a part, Leslie in the office, everyone who's a part of this sheriff's department. I can't thank you enough for all that you do every day to help keep this county in the shape that it's in, because the work that you do is simply amazing. And just thank y'all all so much.
Thank you.
Be a reality for our community, which is a fantastic thing. So can you tell me a little bit more about your background, just, in law enforcement, and what kind of prepared you to take on this training?
Yes, ma'am. So I actually started in 2010. I was a Bibb County Jail jailer.
Okay.
Learned a lot there. I wanted to continue to progress in my career, so I decided to go to 911, where I was a dispatcher. I stayed there for a little while, and then I became a cop. I graduated the academy in 2018 at Tuscaloosa Academy, and I just went from there.
All right. Sounds good. Well, Mr. Hobson, I don't believe I have any more questions. What do you think?
Well, what can you tell us that would be informative for the public about the program? We've heard some details about what you're going to be going to be doing. What can you tell us in your own words, Chris, about what the program is that the public should know?
Okay. So a lot of times I'm also on the Internet Crimes Against Children task force. I'm an affiliate with them. Carrie Summers actually got me put on that, and we are able to, before we had no way of phone forensics. We would have to send it to neighboring counties outside of our county. This actually provides us with the resources and the tools to be able to pull this information. So if you do have that violent offender that is sending negative things to children or things that children should not be able to observe, they shouldn't be seeing, we are actually able to download that and use it in court. It also certified me to be an expert witness in court, so I will be able to know what I'm talking about, and it just provides a great thing for Bibb County.
Will that speed up investigations when you're investigating that type of crime?
Yes, sir, absolutely, absolutely.
I know that in the past, when you had to send phones away to a crime lab to take a look at what was on them, it could take 6 months to a year. So are you saying that can be done locally now?
Yes, sir, we will be able to do that locally. Also, some of the training that I took, a lot of times you get a damaged device that comes in, and before we had no training or knowledge of how to take that device apart. Now we know if it's submerged in water what we need to do. If we're trying to solder a device back together, I know how to solder that device and be able to boot it up. They teach you a lot about various things inside of cellular devices that the normal person wouldn't know without the training. So I'm very thankful.
Right. So you'll be the only guy in the sheriff's department here that has that kind of training, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, I know that'll be a boon to the sheriff's department here locally, and you'll be working not only with the Bibb County office, will you also be working with other law enforcement agencies statewide as part of your duties?
Now, if anybody needs us as far as neighboring counties, we are glad to help. As far as all of our municipalities within inside of the county, absolutely. We will take any device that we can with the correct paperwork that we need to proceed to do that, and we will be glad to help any way we can.
Okay, well, that's great. We appreciate that information. I know the public will be excited to hear about what you're doing. And again, we congratulate you on your accomplishment.
Thank you very much. I appreciate y'all.
Absolutely. Seems like it's going to be a tremendous asset to the community.
It's going to be great.
All right.